Hello, I'm Mr. Tapia, and thank you for watching my video. This video will cover one-dimensional motion and finding the y component. Because this process can be kind of long, I've split it into 3 parts. The first part will talk about finding the initial vertical velocity. So to get started, we have a problem here, and I'll go ahead and read it to you. An arrow is launched at an angle of 30 degrees with a velocity of 60 meters per second. What is the maximum height reached by the arrow? And so in order to get started, we have to think of this sort of as an arrow gets shot. So we have an arrow, okay, and I'll do my best to kind of draw one here. And the arrow goes up, okay, and it falls back down. And we're trying to figure out where is the maximum height of the arrow. Okay, and so let's see. We kind of want to know where it is right there. Okay, and so this component here we'll call the change in y. And for now, it's the only part we really care about. And so if you look, you can kind of see it before we get started. You can kind of see that this forms a sort of a triangle. So let's get this drawn. Let's see. Alright, so as you can see, it's kind of a triangle. And so if we drew that triangle a little bit bigger down here, we could simply just find this missing side over here. So we know that the arrow was launched. We know that this part of the arrow, when the arrow was launched, that it was launched at 60 meters per second. Okay, and we know that because this is 30 degrees, this becomes a sort of a trig problem. So we can plug all this in. We can use the SOHCAHTOA acronym to kind of memorize everything. And if you'll remember, if we bisect this angle, this side right here would point to the opposite side, and this side here, the longest side of a right triangle, is called the hypotenuse. And so if you look, you can only really use this one because it has the opposite and the hypotenuse right there in it. Alright, so we're going to plug all this into a calculator. So we have sine 30, and that is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite, we don't know the opposite just yet. Divided by hypotenuse, it's 60. To get rid of this, we can take this 60 and multiply both sides by 60 over 1. This will cancel out, and because it's algebra, we do what we do to one side, we do to the other, and so we end up with 60 sine 30. So I'll go ahead and get the calculator out, and as you can see, we have 60 sine 30. We're going to make sure our calculator is in the right mode, make sure it's in degrees, and it is right there. So we go ahead and do second quit, and we go ahead and enter, and it tells us 30. So this side right here, the opposite side, is equal to 30. So what does that mean? That means of the 60 meters, of the 60 meters per second, the vertical component, okay, the vertical component, which is our y, okay, is equal to 30 meters per second. That means that at this angle, at 30 degrees, something fired at 60 meters per second. Okay, if we looked at it from the side, it is only rising at 30 meters per second. So this is the first part of my series here. Thank you for watching.